Well, it's a chance to ruin Jim Hiller's debut as LA's new bench boss after taking over for Todd McClellan. We get you set for the Oilers and the Kings on the Oil Stream pregame show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola live on location at the Westgate Boston Pizza. People starting to stream in. Some AM Nasties showing up. I see some Edmonton Sports Talk gear, and we're going to have a great watch party here at the Westgate location. If you're wondering where that is, exactly right across the street from West Edmonton Mall. You're going to see Dusty walking around in the background. He's getting things set up so people can hear the audio from the show here inside the BP's lounge. And we've got Lieutenant Eric wandering around somewhere. There he is. He's saying hi to Andrea right now. So people have started to trickle in, and we're going to have a great show. And hopefully it's going to be boosted by a big performance from the team from Edmonton as they look to make it 2 straight wins following yesterday's victory in Anaheim. As always, you can get in on the conversation. Reach out to us via the Nasty Chat if you're watching on our EST YouTube channel. Also, you can text us 780-218-9999 as the Oil and Kings go toe-to-toe for the second time this season. We're going to hear from Dennis Bernstein, our Kings insider, a little bit later on in the show. And we're also going to catch up with Matt Kassian, who makes his return after having the night off. A little bit busy yesterday. Cass was taking care of some family business, and he's ready to rock for tonight. So the Oilers and the Kings get going again. They renew their rivalry. The Oilers did beat the Kings earlier this season. That was a 3-2 result in LA back on December 30th. Derek Ryan picking up the winning goal. Stuart Skinner was between the pipes. Yes, indeed. So get in on the conversation as the Oil and Kings get ready to lock horns yet again. Let's hear from YouTube Trev. YouTube Trev back in action this evening. Get yourself on camera, pal. Where are you at? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How's it going, Nasties? How are we doing tonight? Wait 1 second here. There we go. What's up? How are we doing tonight, Tommy?
Look at that. We're doing good. I have a ice cold libation. The staff here at the Westgate BP, absolutely phenomenal. So if you're on the West End or you feel like doing something on this Saturday night and you're like, yeah, I want to watch the game. I want to watch it with a bunch of other nasties and ESTers. So come on out. Eric is, what do you got there? Come make an appearance. There he is. There he is. Do you want to put a headset on really quickly? Come on, get in here, pal. Look at this guy. Let's get that shot. Let's get that shot. Okay. Can you hear it? Does it sound okay? Say hi.
Test 1 2.
There it is.
There we go.
There he is. Look at this. I saw Andrea, and I'm assuming you went and said hi, and she was asking you about Vegas. How are you doing?
I'm doing 7.
7.
Yeah, I'm usually at around a 9.5, but it's that Vegas flu, eh? That's what they always talk about. So I'll be good in a couple of days.
Okay.
I'm kind of okay.
Well, you made the most of that trip. We have to
try
say
to.
that.
Yeah. How can you not, right? You're down there
did.
and you pose to the question and you have a good time. So yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah,
Thank you to Fly YEG as well for everything they did, nonstop flight and everything like that. Smooth sailing.
Fantastic. Okay, as you recover, you're enjoying a glass of red.
Yeah,
in honor of Fergie's prostate, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, for him, and just to get ready for Super Bowl tomorrow too. But also maybe a plate of pasta as well tonight.
I like that.
I'm kind of feeling that. So
that's good.
I'll be back up to 8.5 maybe.
Yeah, you will be.
Get back to that 9.
This is a home game for you, by the way.
It is too. Yeah. Quick walk. 5-6 minutes.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad. Look at him wandering around.
He's doing the work. He's doing a lot of
putting
in the work tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are you looking for from tonight's game, Lieutenant Eric, as you'll probably be breaking it down on Monday morning?
What am I looking for tonight's game?
Yeah.
No switch defensive pairings.
Keep them as is.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
That's all I'm looking for.
Okay.
And a dub, back to back, that'd be nice on the trip.
Yeah, that would be all right.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to be like the host / mingler here.
Got a lot of stickers. If you want a sticker, come on down, that type of thing. And have a red wine, share one. 9 outs.
Lots surprising here at VP's Westgate, 170th Street, and I think 87th Ave, if I'm not mistaken.
Right by the mall.
Right by the mall, right across the street from the mall. What else was I going to ask? I was going to ask you something else that I kind of it slipped my mind a little bit, but
what level are you at then? You're good? Recovered fully?
No, I'm not.
You had a rough ride back too, like you were kind of driving and
delayed. Don't go through Calgary. Fly YEG.
That's the lesson here.
I learned the lesson.
You learned the lesson the very hard way.
Yes, I did. I did get to see my brother, which was lovely, and my parents were happy to see him as well. We will have Dennis Bernstein on here. We're going to have a good time here. Lots of prizes and stuff, and you're going to be the phenomenal host that you are. And Dusty looks like he's a little bit stressed out, but let's get him a beverage.
Yeah, he'll have a bevy.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, I gotta go home. It's movie night.
You have to
get
go
out
home?
of here.
I'm in the middle of movie night. That's what comes back at 8.
What movie?
Wonka.
Okay, Wonka.
I'll be back in like an
Oh boy. Okay, so there you go. So
I
there's
love
the
it.
update. He'll be back for game time. We'll be here all night long. It is the Oil Stream pre and post game show. Live on location at the Westgate BP. Lieutenant Eric's going to be sipping on some wine all night long. There's trouble. There's tubes.
Yeah.
Steven, there he is. Made it out. So more EST nasties making their way down. And there's a huge box of Oilers gear coming out.
Here we go.
Now. There it is. Look at that.
Here we go.
We're not messing around tonight. What do we got? What do we have for giveaways? I see a jacket. Is that an Oilers jacket?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really nice. That is a nice one.
Wow.
There we go. We've got a bunch of hats. I see let's see what else we have here. Another jacket, I believe. Let's see that one, Eric.
More
that's
jackets.
One. Oh, look at this. This is a rarity. There is going to be a Connor McDavid Oilers Heritage Classic jersey giveaway.
Socks like this one.
Tube Socks is going to be excited about that golf polo. Just a monster box
Tukes.
of gear,
There's tons
available
of
during the watch party.
Holy.
Wow. Is that another jersey?
There's tons of jerseys, shirts, sweaters. I mean, you take your pick.
Come on down. It's the Oil Stream watch party at the Westgate Boston Pizza. Tom Gazzola, Lieutenant Eric.
Look at all those
Dusty
hats.
will be back after movie night.
Look at all these hats.
10 hats there, 10 hats as well. So if you're not doing anything on this Saturday, you want to watch the team, you want to take advantage of some drink specials and some food specials, come on down to the Westgate BP. All right, Dennis Bernstein is going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. You're looking for some defensive stinginess at the same time, and you're looking for some cohesion, and you don't want to see too much of a mix and match type of situation on the back end with the Oilers.
You got it. And Skinner tonight, right? It won't be the picker
Stuart
back to back.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So back to business. The Kings, though, that's I haven't watched too much of them this season. I'm kind of curious.
They're in a world of
change and
hurt
all
right
that.
now.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So it's be time to stick it to them.
Kings haven't played since January 31st, 4-2 win at Nashville. Here's what we're anticipating starting lineups tonight before we get to Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period, who's going to be joining us from Crypto.com Arena. As always, you can text us 780-218-9999. And if you're watching on our EST YouTube channel, you can get at us in the nasty chat. Eric also taking care of social media right now. Trying to. For the Oil, this is what we're anticipating. There was no morning skate in LA, of course, because of last night's game in Anaheim. So McDavid between Nugent-Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Kane and Perry. That line looked good. They scored that goal. Ooh. They got things going. Perry made one of those classic Perry plays that pissed people off as I go through a bunch of P words for alliteration. A lot of pops there. Yep. McLeod with Holloway and Fogle. Derek Ryan with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. Connor Brown, some people liked this game. He had some shots. I don't know. Maybe they get Sam Gagner in the mix. We'll see if they stick with Nurse and Desharnais, Ekholm and Ceci, Kulak and Bouchard. You heard Matthias Ekholm last night talking about how Chris Knobloch, Paul Coffey, Mark Stewart ended up changing things up on the back end a little bit, and Ekholm ended up with Bouchard for chunks of that game last night. Now, we do know what the Kings are going to be rolling out tonight. We're going to hear from DB, who's going to give us the scoop on what's going on with these guys, but this is their formation, if I could use a soccer term, or football, as you like to
starting say. What do we have here? Hey,
yeah,
12?
You want me to? Yeah, the starting 12 up front, and the starting 6 at the back.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
And then the keeper.
Yeah.
All right, Andrzej Kopitar between Quinton Byfield and Adrian Kempe. Philip Deneau with Trevor Moore and Kevin Fiala on his flanks. Pierre-Luc Dubois, your favorite player from LA? And that's a facetious. Wow. That's a facetious statement. Yes.
Damn well better be.
Alex Laferriere and Jared Anderson Dolan with PLD. And then on the fourth line, Alex Turcotte with Carl Grundstrom and Trevor Lewis. On defense for the Kings tonight, Mikey Anderson paired up with Drew Doughty, Vladislav Gavrikov with Matt Roy, Andreas Englund with Jordan Spence. Not a go for LA tonight. Victor Arvidsson, they've been waiting for him forever. IR lower body. Blake Lizotte, IR lower body as well. Phoenix Copley, IR undisclosed.
You know, the old undisclosed, that one hurts.
Yeah, Arthur Kaliev and Brant Clark available, but unlikely to play tonight.
That's a lot of, a few names out there, hey, of note.
Of note, yeah, I'd say Arvidsson for sure, Lizotte for sure, and then Copley, who was absolutely instrumental in the Kings' resurgence last season, also a no-go. But they do have all-star Cam Talbot backing up tonight.
Backing up to, I see a name here in one of the keepers
Let's go to that keeper for the Kings tonight. It will be 31-year-old David Riddick, 5-1-3 on the season, 209 goals against average, 925 save percentage in 11 games this season. Riddick versus the Oilers, a 4-4-1 mark, a 288 goals against average, 899 save percentage in 11 games versus Edmonton over the course of his career. And at the other end of the rink, would you like to do the honors?
Stu Skinner, 25 years old, 23-10-1 with a 243 goals against average, 910 save percentage, 2 shutouts as well, 35 games this season, 3-1-0 with a 180 goals against, 946 save percentage with a shutout in 5 games against the Kings in his career.
Beautiful.
But big save at David, hey? Like it'll be something to see him again tonight.
It's something to see this next guest. He is the one and only Dennis Bernstein, live on location at crypto.com arena. DB, like the only other place I'd rather be right now outside of Boston Pizza, Westgate, here just outside of West Edmonton Mall, would be crypto.com arena. I missed the road. I was on the road in Vegas the other night when the Oilers lost to the Golden Knights, but I would love to be down in LA and chatting with you live on the pregame show. But I'm glad you're here, pal. It's been a little while. The jacket looks fresh. You're looking sharp like you always do. What's going on, DB? Give us the scoop.
Well, you know, in the WWE, they see the EST is Bianca Belair, but the true EST is Edmonton Sports Talk, right?
That's it, buddy. That's it right there. I love that.
No question. Things are great. It stopped raining. It rained for 3 straight days here. So we don't have to worry about rain for the next 6 months. But another team in the hole is the Kings. And I just tweeted it's a matchup of playoff team versus playoff team. Also, a matchup of one team with 16 wins in the last 17 games against a team with 3 wins in the last 17. And that's why Jim Hiller is now behind the bench and will make his debut tonight against the Oilers.
Well, okay. This is something we need to talk about is, I know Todd McLellan well from his time here as head coach of the Oilers. You knew him very well, had a good rapport with him as head coach of the LA Kings. A couple of really successful years. I know they lost to Edmonton back-to-back years in the postseason, but why was that move necessary for the Kings to salvage their season?
Because they've tried everything else, Tom, and it didn't work. And I think that you saw the last couple of weeks, Rob Blake had his midseason availability. I asked him point blank because they were in one already. I said, is changing the coach an option? And he said no. And 17 days later, he changed the coach. Because
liars. Yeah,
exactly. That night, after the availability, they lost to Nashville, close game, 2-1 at home, and that's what they haven't been able to score. They got and beat the Rangers, who they never beat. Like, that's a bad matchup. So if you figure, okay, this is something to build off. The next 2 games, Tom, forget it. They lost it in a shootout to San Jose, and they lost at home to Buffalo. They were up 3-1 against a team playing on a back end of a back-to-back. They gave up 4 straight goals. They went on the road. I knew they were going to get wiped out in Colorado. I even said it publicly. They could lose 8-1. And they almost did. They lost 5-1. They weren't going to turf the coach. But the next 2 games, they lost in overtime to St. Louis. And the last game that Todd coached was a win. But they got out 41-23 and 18-3 in the third period. And Nashville hit 4 posts. Rob tapped out. He said, I got to change something. So it's a different voice. He's an upbeat guy. Jim Hiller really focused on speed the last couple of practices. But is he a better coach than Todd McLellan? Of course not. But I guess the true gold standard is now what you guys did in Edmonton with Chris Novak. Well, now, I don't think they're going to go off and get up 16 and game winning streak, but something had to change. Maybe this changed the paradigm here in Los Angeles. And, Tom, it's not even tonight, because I'm not picking the Kings to beat the Oilers tonight. I'm really not. It's the next 2 weeks. They go on the road. They play teams like Columbus and Buffalo and New Jersey. They have a team in Boston, but it would be nice to get a win against this team tonight. I'm not counting on it, but the next 2 weeks, Tom, are really pivotal for this team because if they don't come through, you might talking about no playoffs, and then there might be seismic changes here in Los Angeles, other than the earthquake that hit here yesterday when I was on the air at SiriusXM.
Oh my goodness! I hope everything's okay. I saw that. I think the Kings had a tweet saying Trevor Moore is just that impactful or hits that hard or something like that. I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty. Yeah. He's a great player for sure. Okay, DB, one more on the coaching change. Why Jim Hiller? Why internal? Why not go out there and find a guy that's been around for a while? There's been one guy that was the coach to start the year behind the bench for the Oilers. He's been at his daughter's soccer practices and games around town still, just kind of waiting in the weeds. Why Jim Hiller and not another guy that is a bigger name and has done it more recently?
Yeah, you talk about Woody. You can also talk about Craig Berube. I think the interim tag, why would those guys sign to be an interim tag? And they are paying Todd about $5 million next year. So that might come into play, even though they say it's not. But this is a business, Tom. It's not just a sport. So I think the interim tag, and that could be a problem, right? Because you don't know about Jim Hiller. Like the last time Rob did this, he turfed John Stevens and put in Willie Desjardins, who was a flop. He was terrible. Right? Yep. So I think the familiarity, and here's the thing, Tom, there's not a lot of track left for this team. There's 34 games left after the season. You can't instill new systems. There's hardly any practice time. This team's going to play a lot of games in the next 2 weeks. I think they wanted to get away from the relationship that Todd had with Trent Yarney, and that's why Trent didn't get the interim tag. They want a little bit of a different view, and obviously Jim Hiller's been here for a year and a half. He came in last year from the Islanders. It's a little bit of a different optic, and I think that's what he was trying to accomplish. But to make the big move on a coach, to make that commitment again, when you really know what you have here, I got to see what this team is like in the next 2 weeks. So I think that's why they went through the interim route as opposed to bringing in a bigger name like a Berube or Woody.
Dennis Bernstein joining us now from the fourth period live at Crypto.com Arena. You can catch DB on the hot stove on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio as well every Saturday morning. And when it comes to the goaltending, DB, we're going to see Big Save Dave, David Riddick getting the start tonight. Cam Talbot coming off another All-Star appearance. What has happened to Talbot after an absolutely phenomenal start? What's the deal with Phoenix Copley, and how has Big Save Dave kind of filled in the void, if he has it all here?
Well, Phoenix is done. He tore his ACL in practice about a month ago, so he's done. You're not going to see him. Cam, I think Cam's played too much. As simple as that. It's a couple things. He played too much. And Tom, it also relates to how this team has played over this last stretch. When they were going really good the first 24 games, and that's what the organization is now saying. First 24 games were great. Last 24 weren't acceptable. First 24 games, they were so locked down on that 1-3-1 that they were giving up 22, 23, 24 shots a night. Not a lot of high danger chances. They were first against in rush chances against. So Cam didn't have to stand on his head, right? So what happened was when the first problem was they started the lack of scoring really came to fruition. And then what happened? They tried to move guys around the lineup, and I think because of that, the structure broke down. So instead of Cam having to face 25 shots a game, it's now 35 shots a game. There's more high danger chances. So and then Todd, when they go in the losing streak, you want to go with your number one guy. I think he overplayed his hand with Cam. Now, Cam had a day off from All-Star, didn't practice yesterday, is not playing tonight, so I assume he would play on Tuesday when they start their road trip. I think it's just too much usage. Riddick's been okay, but again, when you look at the St. Louis game, he got beat from distance in overtime by Braden Shen, who's a really good player, but a wrist shot from 35 feet that gets through your elbow, you got to stop that shot. So they're going to need better goaltending, regardless of it's Big Save Dave or it's Cam going back in net. But they're going to have to be better in the next 24 because there's teams chasing them right now.
DB, we saw them bring in Jonas Korpisalo last year, and we thought, here in Edmonton, that's going to be a tough challenge for the Oilers. The Oilers got to Korpisalo, and then he moves on to Ottawa, and then the Kings go out and get Talbot. Could they be back in the market for a goalie? Could they be trying to chase down a Jacob Markstrom out of Calgary? Like, is that something that's starting to pop up?
Okay, well, the short answer is no, and here's why, Tom. Victor Arvidsson is now practicing in a contact jersey, so he's not going to play tonight. I assume he's going to start on the road trip because he had a couple of practices in. Once they activate him off of LTIR, they're going to revert back to what they had in the beginning of the season, where they were up against the cap. They'll have one extra player. They won't even have a 23-man roster. They don't have the ability to do that. And I talked to Rob about that at the draft. He goes, we're going to go this route for the season. We're going to spend $2.5 million in net with Cam and at that time Phoenix Copley. And what you see is what you get. They don't have the ability. Short of some massive trade, or they're trading, let's say, an Arvidsson, which I don't see happening, or a Matt Roy. And they could plug Brant Clark in that spot. But they don't have the cap space to do it. So what you see with respect to the net is probably what you're going to get for the regular season and beyond if they make the postseason.
Interesting indeed. The big splash that they did make, and we talked about it when you were on the show last time when the Oilers and Kings locked horns, was Pierre-Luc Dubois. And what I've seen from Kings fans and people covering the team is like, what's going on with this guy? How would you sum it up? Because I know he's not supposed to be the guy, but they did give up a lot to get him.
Yeah.
What is he doing right now?
Yeah, well, he's the 3C on the team right now, so you wouldn't expect that much production. But it's about all the other stuff around his game. Like, I've talked to players. They say, Dan, don't even look at his performance on the ice. Watch when he comes off for a line change. He glides back to the bench. And this is a team that has guys like Blake Lizotte, although he's injured now, and Trevor Moore, who give every inch of energy on every shift. And fans see that. And they see him, coasting $8.5 million a year for 8 years. And the production hasn't been there. And the problem is, Tom, he had so much cover with respect to Kopitar and Danault. He didn't have to come in and be Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. He could have come in and put up his 20, and he's like a 27-27 guy, right? 20 goals, 27 assists. If he came in at that clip, everybody would be satisfied, right? It's as simple as that. So it's a combination of lack of production, and, it's just the optics on his game is really bad. It looks like he's coasting a lot. Now, I'll give him credit for one thing, and I've said this for the last 2 months. He's not hiding. He's at his locker every day at practice.
That's good.
He answers all the hard questions. He has not hid for 1 second. He hasn't deferred on any question. I give him credit for that much, right? But other than that, you got to be way better. And other than instilling confidence in this team that has gone away, Jim Hiller's second job, or maybe 1A job, is to unlock something in Pierre Dubois that Todd McLellan couldn't.
Pierre-Luc Dubois through 48 games, DB, 10 goals, 10 assists, minus 16. That's a team worst with 36 penalty minutes. I'm looking at the Oilers side of things, and I see Warren Fogle at 26 points. And I know.
And the Kings are a plus goal differential team. It's not like they're minus 15 and he's minus 16. It's been bad. But, I mean, look, here's my concern, Tom. I saw this with Huberdeau in Calgary, right? First year, big contract, big expectations, contending team. Now, this year, Huberdeau's a little bit better, but not much. If this lingers with Dubois, if you're going to ride up the season, that's one thing. What happens next season? What do they do? He now has to bounce back. But he's got 24, 28 games to really prove himself. And, Tom, to be real, let's say this team makes the playoffs. They really got Dubois for the playoffs, right? And they do wind up facing you guys again in the playoffs, which I would love because you know how much I enjoy being in Edmonton. Maybe that unlocks them, right? Maybe that's the matchup they get. But right now, it's been bad. I grade out the entire team, the halfway part. I gave him a D+, only because he's played all the games and he showed up and not hidden from the press.
Dennis Bernstein joining us now from Crypto.com Arena as we get you set for the Oilers and the Kings. You can text us 780-218-9999. DB is our Kings insider, and I know people fell in love with you the last 2 years in the postseason. So if you've got anything for DB, fire it our way. You can also get at us into the nasty chat if you're watching on our YouTube channel. Okay, I want to ask you about this, the panic button. Is it being hit? Is it close to being hit? Where is the fan base at, DB? And then how would you describe the executive level of the Kings right now?
Well, Rob Blake knows his job's on the line. Basically said it. It's a win and loss business. And that's why Todd isn't here anymore. Todd's a great coach. I think he's 7th or 8th in active coaching wins, right? So that wasn't about that. There's a lot of concern because the expectations were we trade for Dubois, we're a contender, we need to win playoff rounds. Remember, Tom, they haven't won a playoff round since they won the Cup. That's 10 years. It's not good enough. And the expectations are ridden very high. Rob said it, Luke Robitaille said it, this is a Stanley Cup contender team. That's what they built. And that's why they're up against the cap, and that's why they're not going to carry 23 guys. So, the panic button's been hit. There's not a lot of levers to pull, though. I mean, the fan base, look, there's a fringe part of this fan base that's insane. That's crazy. That has ridiculous ideas. They think Andreas England being in or out of the lineup is going to affect this team, or the 13th forward. Why is Jared Anderson Dolan playing? I'm like, fools. That's the problem? No, that's not the problem, right? So there's panic. But, Tom, here's the thing. they're in a playoff spot. Like, they don't need help. If they win, if they play 6-25 hockey, they'll be in the playoffs, and everybody will forget about this. So that's the weird thing. They look nothing like a playoff team, but they're in the playoffs, and they have a relatively, after tonight, a relatively generous schedule here in the next couple of weeks. They really have to deliver the next 2 weeks, because if they go out on the road and they have 7 games and they go 2-5, you might have to write off the season, and then you might talk about selling some assets, which is crazy.
Yeah, I was expecting big things, and especially when we saw big things from this team early on. So it's crazy. I mean, and then the Oilers have done the complete 180 as well, but in a different direction than the Kings for sure. Okay, the Oilers had a sloppy start to their game yesterday in Anaheim. They cleaned it up in the second period, brought it home in the third period. They got a classic Corey Perry play on Vander Kane's first goal. And
the worm strikes again, Tom. The worm strikes again.
I said to people on the postgame show, I was like, how does it feel to have him do that for your team? Oh, my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, of course, right. Of course it is. Exactly.
Right. So tonight, what do you anticipate? The Kings haven't played in 10 days, and they are coming off a win, even though they've had a coaching change. And then you got the Oilers, who played last night, playing their third set of back-to-back so far this season.
Yeah, well, look, let's see how the teams come out. With all the strife around this team, the coaching change, all the losing. Come out and play hard for the first 10 minutes. Right? I want to see the Kings start. It just feels like the Oilers, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Like, they won last night. They get on the power play. Although, I'll tell you the one thing about the Kings, they're first in the penalty kill. And so you talk about coaching. You can't be a bad coach if you're first in penalty kill. It's simple as that. So I think it's a battle of special teams. Look, the Oilers looked great last night in the third period. They finally woke up. And I expected that game from the Oilers last night, because it was a nothing game. Right? And now they're securely in a playoff spot. They're on a big roll. Evander's got a hat trick last night. They're clicking on all cylinders. And, Tom, the thing about this team, and I've said it, and I've complimented them, this team back checks now?
I know.
They back check? The Oilers? Really? Like, Novak's done a fabulous job. And, look, a couple of things. Like, Connor wasn't healthy at the beginning of the season. And people, I think, are still underselling the fact that Ekholm wasn't healthy to start the season. And as soon as he got healthy, look what happened with Bouchard. This is a team that they check all the boxes. And, Tom, if they trade for Jake Gensel, the deadline, really look out. Right? So, like, it's a big – like, Tom, this is the toughest matchup for the Kings coming out of a bye with a new coach to play the Edmonton Oilers right now they're already playing. I don't know. I think they wish they would have got Columbus for the first game.
Hey, don't you get things started with the Gensel talk?
I am.
We had Pagnotta on talking about Scott Lawton and others earlier today. So that gets the juices flowing for the fan base. Like you like to stir it up, DB, with Oilers fans, and that's why we love you. So I appreciate you doing this tonight. I wish you were here at Boston Pizza Westgate with me. Sure. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, one more thing before I go. And now forever the Edmonton Oilers fans will love me. Yesterday on with Coolius, we do on the clock. Right, so he rapid fire questions. He asked me what my favorite arena was. I go, when it's not minus 33 and it feels like minus 50, Edmonton is my favorite arena. The Ice District, wow. I love it. I love the arena. I love Joey. I love the JW Marriott. So just the fans to know that even though, I'm a Kings guy, in quotes, which I'm really not. If you ask Kings fans, I'm not really a Kings guy. But my favorite arena and favorite stop-in right now in the league is Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, I love it, DB. That's why we love you, and you've endeared yourself to oil country. So we're doing this February 26th again, okay?
Absolutely, Tom. You got it. It's always great being on Edmonton Sports Talk with you.
That is Dennis Bernstein, the one and only. He is a gem. Our Kings insider joining us tonight, giving us the scoop on an LA Kings team looking to salvage its season. My goodness, going through a coaching change. Jim Hiller making his debut as Kings interim head coach tonight, as his club takes on the Edmonton Oilers. We do have Matthew Iwanek in-house. More ESTers are in-house. I see some Oilers jerseys. Hello, guys. What's going on? We've got the speakers going in here. Dusty figured things out. He's back at movie night. Lieutenant Eric's halfway through his glass of wine. And we have a monster box of Oilers gear to give away. Here's another jacket. Oh, this is a hoodie with a zip. This is nice, from Under Armour as well. So come on down if you're not doing anything. You got a great chance at some excellent prizes here at Boston Pizza Westgate, just outside of West Edmonton Mall, across the street. And if you're not doing anything, you want to watch the game with some Oiler fans and get to know some of the crew from Edmonton Sports Talk, come on down, check things out, and some drinks and food specials also as we roll through the night. We are going to get to Matt Kassian right away here. We'll be talking to Cass on the phone. YouTube Trev, give him a shout whenever you want, pal. I am going to go into the inbox, 780-218-9999. I'll also have to get to the nasty chat eventually here. Tube Socks, who is like literally right around here. There he is in his monster beard. Says, you guys look great. Tube Socks, you look great tonight too. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. And fantastic work with all of our logos and our look at EST. That all comes from the brilliant mind of one Steve Tube Socks Cadger. Let's go into the nasty chat, see what you guys have been talking about as we get you set for the Oilers and the Kings tonight. Duck Dad never knew hearing about the LA Kings could be entertaining. DB is awesome. Penner's Pancakes says DB might need to go on a beauty list. And Joel says, hi, Tommy and YTT. And I'll extend that hello to Wanik as well as Lieutenant Eric, who is in deep conversation right now with Awanik. It looks like they're talking with their hands a lot. Coyote Steve says, Tommy, let's go all in. Anderson, Matheson, Pizzetta, Primo. Edmonton gives two 2024 first, 2024 second, 2024 or 2025 first. CC Campbell. Oh, Coyote Steve, how many 6 o'clocker loggers have you had tonight? And then D. White says, Leaf season dying by 1,000 cuts this year. Let's take a look at what's been going on around the National Hockey League. Busy Saturday, as always, as we head into Super Bowl weekend. I should also add that we will be live on location for a Super Bowl watch party tomorrow at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road on the north side. You can come say hi to all of us from EST, as well as the lovely Renee from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Also, lots of drink specials, food items around $10. And if you haven't booked, I think it's close to sold out, if not already sold out. But you can linger in and wander around and say hi and have a bite to eat and a chat as well. So we're going to be there tomorrow night or afternoon, I should say. And it sounds like the boys have some rooms at the hotel above the casino just in case things get a bit rowdy. All right. Out-of-town scores to get to on a busy Saturday in the National Hockey League as we await Matty Kassian. 13 games on the schedule. You had Buffalo falling to St. Louis 3-1 earlier in the day, and then Detroit knocks off the Vancouver Canucks 4-3 in OT. The Stars get by the Habs in Montreal 3-2. Calgary 5-2 winners over the Islanders. Washington 3-0 on Boston. Florida 4-0 on Colorado, the final there in South Florida. And then in the third period,
Okay. What's up, guys? We're going through some technical issues, it looks like. I was just on the phone with Kassian getting him set for today's show, but looks like we have a little technical issue, so I'm going to quickly figure out Tommy's camera here, and then we should be good to go. He will be reconnecting probably within the next minute, I imagine, so just bear with us. I don't really know where he was going. Like I said, I was on the phone, but yeah, nasty chat, do your thing. Ask me a question because I'm currently, this is improv. I'm kind of just going through it right now, so we'll see what I can do here. So just bear with me. But Trev, you got this. Oh, there's the nasty chat. Let's go. Hi, YTT. How we doing? That's awesome. You love to see it. That's great. Yeah, initial thoughts on the game tonight. Well, here, I wish I could figure out this camera situation at the moment, but it's not looking good. But so bear with, you're gonna have Tommy's face on the camera there in the meantime. Yeah, initial thoughts. I'm pretty pumped for tonight's game. Just going back to Dennis Bernstein, that's something I kind of wanted to talk about. Oh, it looks like Tommy's joining back here. Let's see, there we are. Okay, 1 second here. Tommy, we'll get you on in 1 second. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Tommy? Okay, let's do this. I got you. There we are. There we go.
I'm back. How long was I gone for? I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too, man. Sorry, that was like maybe a minute, right around a minute.
I had
but
all
we're
the
good.
out-of-town scores.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were going through, so I felt bad. I was just on the phone with Cass, getting him set up, and then all of a sudden the camera froze, and I'm like, oh, I had to hang up on Cass, so I felt bad.
Attaboy. Okay, let's get him on. Did you finish up the out-of-town scores?
No, I didn't. How about you do that, and then I'll get Cass back on the phone if that works.
Okay, when did it cut out, pal? When did it cut out?
I honestly, I was like full on conversation with Cass. I missed, so maybe just.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, man.
I'll spare everybody that. All right, the Oilers playing the third and final game of a 3-game road trip. The Kings 1 game at home before heading out east for 4: Buffalo, New Jersey, Boston, and Pittsburgh. Edmonton 14-10 on the road this season. The Kings 8-9-6 at home. All-time Oilers against LA. At LA, 48-46-3 with 15 ties. Edmonton has won 3 straight games against the Los Angeles Kings. Now, all-time just in general versus LA in the regular season, the Oilers do carry with them 105, 87-3 mark with 30 ties all-time versus LA. And in the last 10, the Oil have a 7-3 record versus the Kings. 780-218-9999 if you want to text us. And then if you're watching on our YouTube channel, hit us up in the Nasty chat. What's going on with the Nasties there? All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves as you tend to do in the Nasty chat. Let me know, Trev, when Cass is ready to go, and we'll get to Game Changers as well. We're live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate on 170th and 87th Ave, just across the street from West Edmonton Mall. We got tons of giveaways here. If you're not doing anything tonight, come check us out. I'm going to pull some of the giveaways out here. This is that hoodie zip up from Under Armour that we'll be giving away. We've got like 10 hats. We've got some a Travis Matthew golf shirt with Coors Light. I know that you're looking at that, aren't you, Tube Socks? You want that. You're laughing. Eric loves it. Lots of great stuff. We also have a Heritage Classic Oilers jersey that is up for grabs. McDavid on that one. So I know that they're a rarity and they're hard to get. Talking to the good folks, Ken and Jack over at Pro-Am Sports, saying, you know what? Once the Heritage Classic gear is gone and it's sold out, there's no more coming in. So if you have your eyes set on a Heritage Classic jersey, haven't gotten one yet, there's a chance to win one here tonight at BP Westgate. Also some game day drink specials as well as food options that you can pick up and take advantage of for sure. Trev, how are we looking with Cass? We almost there?
Yeah. Just going to let you know, Cass is ready when you are.
Fantastic. All right, let's get to our game analyst, Matty Kassian, for Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram page at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass, our whole crew this week has been all over the place. We were in Vegas. We were in Calgary. Where the heck are you right now?
Well, I am making a stop on my way back from Calgary now. So I was right here yesterday, and then Calgary today, and then now on my way home too. So just a little all over the place.
How are the roads, pal? Are they all good?
They're all good. Yeah, no, they're dry. It's not like we've had any additional snow, so everything's been smooth sailing, Tommy. Smooth sailing. Smooth as that silky haircut. I can't see it right now, but I know you're sporting it.
Lots of Swedish hair cream in the haircut right now. Lots of Swedish hair cream, yeah. Cass. We need to make sure it looks slick and like I went through a wind tunnel, and it looks just like that. All right, let's get to Game Changers, pal. Number 1 tonight against the LA Kings, patience.
Yeah, something the Oilers, and we could have used maturity as well, that the Oilers have found a massive amount of since they last played the LA Kings. I mean, it's been something that has just continued to build in their game. And against the LA Kings, we know that this is going to be absolutely important. I mean, they play, now the Kings haven't been playing great. You know, they fired their head coach. We'll talk about that right away, but they play themselves a patient type of hockey game. And for the Edmonton Oilers, when they've had success against LA, it has been when they've played a patient game themselves, when they have waited for opportunity, when they haven't forced pucks through the middle, and they've allowed themselves to not play LA's game, in that LA's just looking for you to make mistakes and turnovers to try to capitalize in transition. Edmonton recently has been playing a style that should match up better against LA, and certainly with how LA is going to try to slow them down, you want the Edmonton Oilers to be playing that patient style of hockey.
Cass, we just had Bernstein on here, and he says that Rob Blake's his job's on the line, and if there's not a good showing from the Kings the rest of the way, he's toast. I would imagine things are getting pretty hot with the Kings. Are you surprised with their fall from grace from what we saw earlier in the season when we were talking about these two teams going toe to toe?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty dramatic fall, and I think where Blake all of a sudden starts to get questioned is some of the bigger moves that they've made, like bringing in Pierre-Luc Dubois, haven't necessarily panned out, and you could look at coaching, I guess, for that. But you're also looking at the GM, and not certainly a situation I think that anyone really thought LA was going to be in based off the start of the season where everything was going right, and now it's the exact opposite where everything has been going wrong. So we'll have to see. There's still a lot of hockey yet to be played, and it's not like the LA Kings are way outside of a playoff position. They're still right there because of the strength of the start of their season, but certainly will be a storyline for that LA group down the stretch.
Matt Kassian joining us now live from Highway 2, driving back from Calgary tonight, but still putting in the work with Game Changers. So number one, Cass, tonight was patience. Number two, heavy second.
Yeah, that second line, I mean, everybody's talking about it, and I think rightfully so, of Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl, and Corey Perry. Now, not the Oilers' best game against Anaheim. They wake up in the third, get some timely goals, get a good power play goal. They're kind of chasing the game a little bit before that. But that second line, looked really, really good. And I don't want to say it surprised me, but I hadn't really thought about Corey Perry playing with Evander Kane and Leon Draisaitl. But the more I've chewed on it, and after that game against Anaheim yesterday, it's an interesting line to me. I think someone said to me today, that's not a line I'd want to play against. And it was a former hockey player, a former NHLer around the rink at the Hitman game this afternoon in Calgary. And I think I tend to agree that would be a nasty line to play against. I mean, they have some speed elements, a little bit from Kane, a little bit from Draisaitl. It's a large line, and it is a line that can play heavy at times. So they can play a little bit nasty at times. And you have Corey Perry, who's starting to get his legs back, and yes, he's not the most fleet of foot, but plays with that edge and that chippiness. Evander Kane, who has scored goals and at times scored goals in bunches, and it's just I think we look at this game with the LA Kings again, with stylistically how the LA Kings like to play, and I go, this could be a line that could be incredibly effective against the LA Kings. So I'm excited to see it again. I want to see more from that group. I'm hoping that 3-goal night just continues to spark Evander Kane, and that as a trio, they just become that heavy, hard, tough to play against, nasty line that can bite you with some goals as well.
It looks like we're having some camera issues there, Cass. So, no, good thoughts. We'll just rattle off. Yeah, I don't know. This has happened the third. Oh, no, Tommy's back. We're good. Okay. Tommy, you're in, Tommy?
We're reconnecting, bud. We're reconnecting.
Tommy, you're on, Tommy? Okay, I'll just take it away, Cass, until Tommy gets back. But let's just go right into the third game changers there, Cass, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, third game changers is you have a coaching change-up. First game here for the LA Kings. Todd McClellan gets gassed, and Jim Hiller steps into helm what looked like the rest of the way for the LA Kings. We've seen it with Edmonton. Seen it with other teams at times. You get a little bit of that coaching change bounce, and sometimes it lasts a week. Sometimes, like the Oilers' case, it seems to turn things around, or at least be a part of turning things around. But a different voice behind the LA Kings bench tonight, and we have to see how these guys respond. I mean, there's going to be the guilty factor of we got a coach fired. Let's go out and play and prove something and have some jump. You have just all the emotion that goes into it. And on top of that, you're playing the Edmonton Oilers, who you're chasing here now in the standings. So it's, I think, emotionally a very, very large game, not just Edmonton, but for LA as well. With that coaching change, we'll have to see. Do they look different? Do the Kings play how they need to play? Are they going to get back to that LA style that we saw earlier in the season? Or are we just going to see more of the same that we've seen recently from the LA Kings, which has been a world of struggle?
All right, I'm back, Cass. Was that number 2 that Trev filled in admirably for me? We got to number 3. Okay.
We jumped into number 3. Yeah, Jim Hiller behind the bench for the LA Kings, getting potentially a little bit of a bounce, or maybe a lot of a bounce. Really, we just have to see emotionally how the LA Kings respond tonight, and it's going to be like a little bit of a. I don't want to say it's like you have the potential for fireworks emotionally, but you have a massive game against Edmonton and a coaching change and all the emotions that go along with that. So a little bit of a brewing situation for the LA Kings.
Cass, get back on the road, do it safely, and then when you get back home, we'll catch up with you on the post-game show, all right?
Sounds good, Tommy.
That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. Big thank you to YouTube Trev stepping up there, got the connection all sorted out. We're live on location at BP Westgate. Tons of giveaways here, game day specials, drinks, food. Come check it out. We got the whole EST crew rolling in. Trev will be down here after the pregame show. Lieutenant Eric down here, Matthew Iwanek as well. Dusty back on his way when he finishes up movie night with they're watching Wonka. They're watching Wonka, yeah. So we'll be all down here at BP Westgate, just outside of West Edmonton Mall for the Oilers and the Kings on this Saturday night. All right, Trev, fantastic job filling in. Sorry about the connection glitches, but we do have some audio and video to get to, don't we?
Yeah, let's just speaking of him right on the last Game Changers there, let's hop right into the new bench boss, Jim Hiller of the Los Angeles Kings.
A couple guys in the room about the concept of making changes, and the sentiment was you can't change everything at once, kind of like you mentioned yesterday. Is that kind of the direction you're going here with these guys, is little incremental changes that in the long run will get you where you want to be?
Yeah, I guess when you talk about change, in hockey, there's probably 100 things you could change, because it's a very detailed game. So I think when some people talk about change, they want something very visible that you can see. Those types of changes are really hard this time of the year. So as Drew mentioned, if there's any change, it's subtle stuff. It's stuff that in the locker room guys understand. Nobody might talk about it, see it, understand it. After a while, you might go like, you know what? I think they're doing something different. But that's going to take some watching and some perceptiveness to pick up, because it's nothing we're going to broadcast. So, yeah, we as I mentioned, the head is the most important, and we want to tighten a few areas up, and that's the change that we're talking about in there. It's just tightening areas that we've already discussed up and making them, re-emphasizing them and prioritizing them again. So that would be internal change, but not the change that anybody else is talking about.
If you look at these first couple of days, both practices have been close to an hour. Is that
today was longer than yesterday? Was it?
Little bit longer,
yeah. But not as much skating.
Is that your approach to practice? You might want to see a little bit more. Is that maybe a beginning coming off the break?
Yeah, I think that's what you're seeing there. Yeah. Normally we're going to be, we'll be short, we'll be intense. I think why some of these are taking longer, we're going to the board every time. We're spending time with the board. We're explaining the drills, the concepts within the drills. Once they understand the drills, we'll just go, okay, we're doing this. That'll shave off, I don't know how many minutes, but just in and of itself. But these are longer by design. We had the time off. We wanted to re-emphasize and get some intensity down low today. You saw some battling and stuff like that. That's the reason for the length.
One change today, just jersey-wise, was RV in a regular
Notice that
jersey.
one, huh? Yeah.
I mean,
So did I.
And
So
I'm
did
not
I.
saying he's jumping into the lineup, but
No.
it's a little bit of a change. Nice to see.
It was nice to see. I'm sure you guys talked to RV, or I don't know if they let you talk to RV.
No, we have
Not yet.
that anyway.
It was great to see. You guys have watched RV. RV's got a ton of energy. RV loves hockey. RV loves. That killed him not to be out there with the guys, and to see him in a regular jersey and some of the competitive drills we did at the end. And I reminded, he had 2 great chances to score, and he didn't score. He's still pissed about it. I'm sure if you run into him, he's a hornet's nest, because he would have had a chance to keep his team alive. It's just good to see. It's good for everybody. He brings great energy, and he's, to me, through this whole tough stretch, he's the exact player we were probably missing. He's a scorer. He doesn't take no for an answer. He just goes. He's a player that goes to the net. So we'll welcome him back, and it can't be soon enough.
You've been pretty instrumental, obviously, with the power play in your time here. How much, I guess, day to day will you continue to kind of do with that unit, with the forwards, versus maybe delegating some stuff off with the other guys that you have here?
Well, this is the beauty again of our staff. So Jans has done such a great job with the D and the penalty kill. So no need to change it. Todd did the bulk of the 5-on-5 work. I had the power play. Being with DJ and I being so familiar, DJ with his experience, I can continue to manage the power play, do some of the other things obviously that require the team at large, and he can focus a lot on the 5-on-5 play. So for us, we didn't want to change any roles that way. I want to continue to run the power play. I've done that with the guys, but that leaves me limited in some other areas. DJ will pick up some of the slack in that other area.
We've seen Jordan Spence coming out of the lineup to replace with Brant Clark to get Clarkie in some games. What's been your thought process behind that change in your out last few?
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't had one yet. So just in general, 2 good young defensemen for sure, with long and bright futures in the league. We haven't decided exactly the way that's going to roll out, but I would say this: when we talk about our mindset and getting back to what our first 24 games were, and all those kinds of things, Jordan Spence played. He played regularly. He played very well. So it's hard to overlook that when we're talking about a reset to getting back to that. So that will make the challenge harder for Clarkie, because Spenny's been part of that success, and that's the success we want to get back to.
If you look at what Alex Turcotte has brought in his first couple of games, a lot of energy in that game in Nashville. What have you seen from him as he's kind of come in and done his best to earn a spot? Yeah, well, what I've seen, I saw it from him when we went to Australia, and I asked him about it. I don't know how much muscle he put on over the summer, but he's bulked up considerably. And it's not so much upper body, but I could see it in his legs, and his pants were tight, and I see that another layer of strength in him. In fact, the interesting part in the Nashville game, early in the game, he had a great D-zone coverage shift against one of their big forwards, might have been Smith, who's a big, strong, and he was on his hips. He contained him in D-zone. I remember he came off, I said, great job in D-zone. To contain that, that's what impressed me. And then turn around later on, he goes and scores the goal, which, everybody's really excited for him. But to me, if you can't do what you did in D-zone earlier and be able to defend, then you probably don't get to the point where the goals matter that much, because you can't play in the league yet. So that's where I've seen the growth from him, being able to hold his own in D-zone coverage.
Talk to a few of your players about DJ Smith, his introduction. They seem amused, entertained, excited about it.
Good. Levity. Somebody said levity yesterday. I was thinking, you got me right, or are you talking about DJ? Who are we talking about here?
There has been conversation over the last few seasons about guys being brought in that fit the mood, fit the locker room, through their personalities, whatever. Is he the type of coach that connects with a type of player that can then cascade through the lineup?
Yeah. Well, I just loved what Smitty yesterday, but Smitty can connect with anybody. Like he's that type of a personality. You'd have him over for dinner. You'd have your grandmother there. She'd be laughing before the dessert came out. Like he's just that kind of a person, and so it's great for anybody to be around. It's great for the coaches to be around. Never mind the players. I think maybe for you guys, the media, you're going to hear him on the plane. Trust me. And he's got a loud voice. So he's just one of those people that brings good energy, that you like to be around. And I think that, whether you're at the top of the league or the bottom of the league, it doesn't matter. It's the type of people you want around.
Rob mentioned that he was brought in to offer a perspective from the outside. Is there anything you can share about something that maybe he shared with you, what he saw about this team that you didn't recognize yourself?
No, nothing that I'll get into there. But I will say this: he saw us at near our best. We were out there. Was it just after Halloween, right? Early November, and we went in there and played them and got ahead and just choked them right out. They were so frustrated they didn't get much. So he's seen us at our best, that first group. And then I've had him watch some of our games over our last stretch where we haven't had a chance to practice as much, hadn't lost our confidence, and he didn't see the same. He'd seen that lack of confidence, and the lack of confidence then can leak into areas of your game where you're just not as sharp. So he was able to see the difference when we played them versus kind of what we're doing lately. We won't talk about what some of those things were.
So did you all right, that was Jim Miller, head coach, interim head coach of the Los Angeles Kings.
Hey, Tommy, I don't know if you can hear me, but the audio's coming through pretty echoey right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go straight to Chris Knobloch here.
Matchup here between you and Jim Hiller, right? Was he not in Tri-City when you were in Kootenay? Did you guys cross over, interlap at that time?
We did. I'm thinking
11, 12
maybe later. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Tri-Cities. Believe he spent some time in Chilliwack. But yeah, I know Jim a little bit from just coaching against him.
So you're playing against a team that's made the move. You've been in that chair recently here, about 3 months ago, but just a thought on, and they haven't played. They haven't played since the All-Star break. Just a thought on the confluence of events and what you might be, because they're probably going to be pretty energized and pretty ready to go.
Well, we know LA's been very energized and had very strong starts in the first period here, and I think that part of their game is not going to change. And now it just, with everything that's gone on, it's just going to fuel that. Whether it's been the break, coming back from the break, they're going to be well rested, but also the changes to their coaching staff, that they'll want to change things and right the ship. And we are definitely going to have to be prepared for that first period surge by them.
Same lineup as last night in Anaheim?
Same lineup, yes.
What did you think of the D formations at the latter half and the second half? What was that formation able to do better than the first formation that you rolled out to begin the game?
Well, I think the only difference was we put Bush and Eki back together, and I think a lot of that had to do with them being the most offensively producing line or D pair throughout the last 2 months. And most of that game we're looking for a goal, and it only made sense to put those two together. And we had the other two pairs a little mixed up a little bit, but we'll roll with it a little bit longer, and we'll just see how we like it.
What are some of the positives from last night you'd like to see this evening?
Well, I thought we hung on the puck really well in the offensive zone, especially below the goal line, and we were able to make some plays. Definitely the Leon's line there, creating some good scoring chances. I thought we did a pretty good job pressuring the puck, but I thought when we did have breakdowns, we weren't in good positions to recover, protect the middle of the ice. So when there was a breakdown, they were getting a grade A scoring chance. So that's the catch of, if you want to play pressure and have guys being aggressive on the puck, which we do, we don't want to be sitting back and being passive. We have to have layers helping the whoever's attacking the puck.
And we are back. We're experiencing some technical difficulties at the moment, but in the meantime, YouTube Trev, that's what they call me. You can just call me Trev, but I'll be holding the fort down for a little bit. Tommy, just let me know if you can hear me, when you can hear me, because I still cannot hear you. But in the meantime, yeah, the Oilers, they're playing the LA Kings tonight. And one thing I'm very intrigued about tonight. Oh, there we go. Hey, Tommy.
There we go.
That sounds
1,
better.
2, 3. You hear me nice and loud? Okay, we got it all fixed out. Good thing Iwanek's here. Let's go to more Kings audio. Who do we have left?
Yeah, let's go to Cam Talbot right now.
Obviously I've only been back for the one, but today was extremely high tempo, a little bit longer, a little bit more system detail oriented, but like you could tell the pace out there was fast. You weren't going too long. It was 20-25 seconds as hard as you could go. Next line goes out there, and it's kind of what we need to do in a game, take advantage of quick line changes, be fresh, and I think that's what we're looking for moving forward, is to keep everyone fresh. And when we're fresh, we're a fast team, and we can be on top of teams.
I know you work mostly with Buck, but Jimmy's been described as, an energy guy, as a good communicator. Have you kind of seen those things in him as well in your time here?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, every time Jimmy talks, people listen, and I think he's going to do well here. And obviously, bringing in a guy like DJ too, who's been a head guy before, and he can also take control, and he knows what he's talking about. Very upbeat, loves to be like in the room, talking out with the guys. So I think between the two of them, it's going to be a good dynamic for sure.
You worked with DJ for a full year in Ottawa. I mean, is that the kind of guy who can maybe help here? Someone who's seen this team from another perspective, but I've read, he's a very good communicator and has that kind of players coach mentality.
Yeah, he is, for sure. Definitely a very good players coach. I had a great experience with him last year, even though the season didn't go the way we wanted. I had nothing but good things to say about DJ. So to bring him in here, and like you said, he's very detail oriented, very, very good communicator, likes to control the room when he's speaking, and again, when he speaks, guys will listen. And like you said, he's got a good awareness of how we can fix or tweak a couple things here just from the outside looking in, doing the pre-scouts and stuff like that on us, and what maybe they thought they could expose against us, maybe we can fix.
How important is it as a group to know that you can't change maybe everything in one day? There's one or two practices, but to kind of just little things here and there that eventually can make the difference for you guys as you get back to where you were.
Absolutely. It's not a complete overhaul. I mean, this team was one of the best teams in the NHL for the first 30 games. We had a little dip there, and we're going to come out of it rested here. Like I said, tweak a couple things here and there, but we don't have to, do a complete overhaul. We're not changing everything. So if we can make little adjustments, here and there throughout the full 60 minutes, maybe it takes away a goal against or leads to another goal for, and those are what the difference between winning and losing, because we lost a lot of those one-goal games lately. So hopefully this can tip the scale in the other direction.
All right, that was Kings goaltender Cam Talbot coming off an all-star appearance. The former Oiler knows all about turmoil within a team, and that's something that the LA Kings have been going through. New interim head coach Jim Hiller making his debut, and Talbot talking about how the team's going to have to persevere to try to get back into the mix in the top three in the Pacific divisions. The Oilers have blown past the Kings and now have their sights set on the Golden Knights, who they lost to on Tuesday. The Kings haven't played since January 31st, coming off a win in Nashville. 4-2 was the score there. Of course, Edmonton coming off that 5-3 win in Anaheim last night. It is the Oil Stream pregame show, live on location at Boston Pizza, Westgate, 170th Street, 90th Ave, not 87th. I can't even get my own hometown streets and addresses right, but we are at the BP's for a watch party. You can get $5 off any medium pizza, $1 off 23-ounce tankards of Canadian and Coors Light. And, of course, if you want to do shots, because it is Saturday, $5.50 per shot. Jaeger, Honey Jack, Purple Rain, Burt Reynolds, Fireball. And we do have a ton of giveaways. I'm going to get my model, Lieutenant Eric. He's in mid-conversation with Iwanek. Eric, do you want to come and model some stuff? Here he is. Oh, he's very excited. What do we got here? So we've got a Heritage Classic hoodie. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. That would look great on you, but we're going to give it away to a listener and viewer. We've got this zip up. This is nice. A zip up hoodie from Under Armour. Very nice. Subtle. Very classy. Okay, what else do we have here? You can come on down if you're not doing anything tonight. You're going to save that one for later. Okay. Here we go. We have like a golf zip up. Very nice. What is that? Level wear. Just a ton of prizes here tonight that we're going to be giving away during this watch party at Boston Pizza Westgate. We've got the Coors Light Travis Matthew golf shirt. Very nice. Do you like that one? Hey, okay, he likes that one. But golf shirts aren't your thing. Okay, here, this is like a rain jacket. Golf rain jacket, Coors Light. Very nice. I like that. Yeah. So we're giving, okay, what else? We've got 10 hats plus. A lot of hats. Oilers hats. Very nice. Iwanek's getting in there. You went right to the jersey, Iwanek. Here we go. A Connor McDavid Heritage Classic jersey. That's a big one. We'll be giving that away tonight. What do you got there? Are those mittens? Toques. Oh, and this one. This one's really nice. You got the bomber jacket with the nice collar. Very nice. A Molson on the side. That one's a nice jacket. I like that one very, very much. So a ton of giveaways tonight here on location at Boston Pizza Westgate, 90th Ave, 170th Street. $5 off any medium pizza. $1 off 23-ounce tankards of Canadian Coors Light. And if you feel like you want to have some shots tonight, $5.50 per shot. Jaeger, Honey Jack, Purple Rain, Burt Reynolds, Fireball, take advantage. And you can also hang out with tube socks. And now Troy's here. He didn't walk in with an open beer, thank God, but he has a fresh mug on hand. And tons of great giveaways, tons of great food, as everyone here is going to be watching the game. YouTube, Trev, you coming down soon?
Yeah, I think I'll be there as soon as we wrap up here, Tommy. But,
lovely. Okay, you don't have
and
to
I
watch
cannot
a movie.
wait.
You don't have to watch Wonka like Dustin Nielsen does.
No, not a chance.
No,
I'm
not a
gonna
chance.
go watch the Oilers play some hockey.
Fantastic, pal. Looking forward to having you down here. We've got a good crew already on location here at BP Westgate. Lineups tonight for the Oilers. Same lineup that we saw get the win in Anaheim last night. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl centering Kane and Perry. I like what that line has cooking. McLeod between Holloway and Fogle. Then you've got Derek Ryan centering Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. On defense for the Oil, Nurse with Desharnais, Ekholm with CC, Kulak paired up with Bouchard. We will see how long that lasts on the back end. As for the LA Kings tonight, Anze Kopitar centering Quentin Byfield and Adrian Kempe. Philip Deneau centering Trevor Moore and Kevin Fiala. You've got Pierre-Luc Dubois, who Dennis Bernstein was talking about, the frustrations with Pierre-Luc Dubois. He'll have Alex Laferriere and Jarrett Anderson-Dolan flanking him, and then Alex Turcotte between Carl Grundstrom and Trevor Lewis. On the back end for the Kings, Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty, Vladislav Gavrikov paired up with Matty Roy, and then Andreas Englund with Jordan Spence. Out for LA tonight, Victor Arvidsson, IR, lower body. Blake Lizotte, IR, lower body. Phoenix Copley, IR, undisclosed. Tore up his knee, according to Bernstein. And then Arthur Kaliev and Brant Clark are the extras for LA. To starting goalies we go now. For the Oilers, 25-year-old Stuart Skinner getting the nod, 23-10-1 on the season, a .243 goals against average, .910 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 35 games this year. Skinner versus LA in the regular season, a 180 GAA, .946 save percentage, 1 shutout in 5 games against LA. And then for the Kings, it will be Big Save David Riddick. 31-year-old is 5-1-3 with a .209 goals against average, .925 save percentage in 11 games this season. Riddick versus the Oilers, obviously former Flame, 4-4-1 record, .288 goals against average, .899 save percentage in 11 games versus Edmonton over the course of his career. Goaltending an issue with the Kings. Phoenix Copley came in last year, saved the day from the farm, and salvaged the Kings season. And then they went and brought in Korpisalo. Korpisalo couldn't get it done against the Oilers in the playoffs. And then Korpisalo walks to Ottawa. So the Kings go in and they get Cam Talbot, the former Oiler, an all-star. And you know what? David Riddick was also an all-star, Trev. And this tandem is not that great. It is not a good tandem.
It is weird. Like, yeah, they've definitely had their spurts when one goalie seems to be doing okay, the other one's doing, not so good. But Big Save Dave, right? That's the nickname. There was times where he was a pretty legit goalie for the Calgary Flames for, I'd say, just over a year. Maybe he had a year stretch where he was pretty decent. But I don't know. It was ever since that. A lot of fans say it. A lot of people have said it ever since Big Save Dave when he lifted the stick, the shootout winner on Leon Draisaitl. His career kind of just started going downhill since that moment. So kind of interesting how that works out. But yeah, 2 All-Stars. Are they really, though? I don't think so.
Not so much, man. We know Jack Campbell was also an All-Star at one point, and he is still slugging it out in Bakersfield for the Oilers Farm Club. All right, we do have a little bit more audio and video to get to. It is from the Kings side of things. Let's go to Mikey Anderson, YouTube, Trev, and hear and see from him.
Mike, you've been with Jimmy Hiller for about a year and a half now. Just your impressions working with him as a coach over that time and maybe what you might see from him in the new role that he's in.
He came in, obviously worked with the power play, so I haven't done a whole lot of stuff with him because of that. But I think when he came in, he added some new energy for the group, specifically the guys that are on the power, kind of do what they needed to do. But over the last 2 years now, he's added really good energy, I feel like, for especially that group, but for the team, just a different guy to talk to, get to know a little bit. He's been a good impact for the organization.
He was quick to talk about the impact that Jans has had on the group as well. He's still here. You work a little bit more with him. How nice is that to still have that level of consistency, even the change at the top, but you still have your guy on D?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, we know his wording He knows our games, what we like to do, so we're able to, keep the same kind of, I don't want to call it consistency, but it's the same method we've been using now for the last couple of years. But again, he's been a guy that's very good, with communication about maybe what to do better, what we're doing well, talking through different situations, letting guys know what's going on, which is a good thing as a player. You want to have know what's going good, know what's going bad, and be able to learn from it.
It's only been 2 days of practice, but anything that you've seen that's been done differently over these last couple of days? I know you can't just change everything all at once, but anything maybe little you've seen?
I think the big thing is everyone was able to get away for a little bit and kind of reset mentally. I feel like we've had really good energy the last couple days. Guys are excited to be here, excited to play hockey. I don't want to call it a fresh start, but we know it didn't go the way we wanted it to go, and it's on us in the room. So I think the break was nice to reset. Guys are feeling good and excited to play a game now tomorrow.
The coach mentioned that as opposed to X's and O's, his focus, his priority is mentality. What does that mean to you?
I think it's just the way we approach the game. Maybe the last little bit, guys lost confidence a little bit, making plays that maybe we, consistently made more at the start of the year. But I think, again, getting a break a little bit where you don't need to think about hockey. You can, take 5-6 days to just unwind. Now you come back and you're kind of, I don't want to say starting fresh, but haven't been on the ice for a while now, so you're able to, try and get your confidence back and, the mentality of what we want to do as a group. Just need to get back to, when it was going well. We have the same pieces are here, and we know we have it, so it's just watching maybe some older clips and trying to get back to where we were at.
All right, there is Kings defenseman Mikey Anderson. I'm laughing because I'm seeing all the stuff from the Ottawa-Toronto game. Did you see this stuff, Trev? Did you see what Morgan Riley did?
Yeah. I saw the nasty chat. There was a lot of comments. I'm like, what did I just miss? So, yeah, I just opened up Twitter. It was the first thing I saw. Kind of crazy, hey?
Well, I don't
see that
think
often.
they appreciate what Ridley Gregg was doing with the empty netter clapper.
Just a clap bomb?
Yeah, with the breakaway. And then Morgan Riley goes and cross-checks him in the face. So, that's dirty. But you don't like that kind of jerk empty netter by Ridley Gregg. And Ottawa and Toronto hating each other is okay by me. You don't like to see anybody get hurt, and I'm surprised Morgan Riley did that, and I'm sure he will be suspended for his cross-check to Ridley Gregg's face. I see they're talking about it on the panel right now. They've got it on the big screens here at BP's Westgate, 90th Ave, 170th Street, just outside of West Edmonton Mall. We've got some nasties who've shown up. We've got Oiler fans on hand. We've got a million giveaways here tonight. If you have nothing better to do and want to watch the Oilers games, or the game and other games with some pals, come on down. Also, food and drink specials. And if you want to do shots, $5.50 for a shot of Jaeger, Honey Jack, Purple Rain, Burt Reynolds, Fireball, $5 off medium pizzas, and then $1 off 23-ounce tankards of Canadian and Coors Light. Let them beat each other up, Trev. Let them. Just whatever. Let it happen, right?
Yeah, I'm all for it because I seen a comment in the nasty chat and it was good old Lethbridge boy, and I was like, who are they talking? Are they talking about me? But yeah, Ridley Gregg, good old Lethbridge boy. That's right. Kind of interesting how that works out. Not much of that's as far as controversy goes. He's not really known for doing any crazy antics like that. But I'm all for it. I seen Luke Gaslick. He's like, the Battle of Ontario's back. I like it. It's kind of been in limbo for who knows, like quite a while, right? So it's good to see. It's a little spark.
There's some texts that were coming in too in the inbox that are talking about it, and I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm replying, I'm like, what? Hello? Who got hurt? What happened? And it's it's funny how much vitriol goes toward the Leafs, and I understand it wholeheartedly, but I'm laughing at some of the texts that have been coming in. So yeah, I think it's pretty funny, and I want to get to this text. Speaking of the rough stuff and the fisticuffs and the nastiness, C-Dub in Tulsa texting in saying, happy Saturday night, Tommy and Trev. I'm anticipating some old-time hockey tonight, especially if the Oilers score early. Question, and Trev, I'm going to send this one to you first. If LA starts running around, do you see this one getting out of hand and early? That's from C-Dub in Tulsa. What say you, YouTube, Trev?
Yeah, I think if it was any other team, it's a Pacific Division rivalry, right? The LA Kings, if they start pushing, the Oilers are going to push back. They're not going to want to be, walked on over. This is a team that's had the Oilers have had the Kings number for a while, so I'm fully anticipating the Kings to bring it to them, and the Oilers for sure they'll bounce back. They should give it right to them, especially with Corey Perry. The Katy Perry line, as I heard you guys refer to it last night, which
I love that line.
That was very clever. It's not a bad line at all. So yeah, like this team. There's a lot of history going back to the playoffs last 2 seasons, and even just the last game, it was pretty tight checked. So I'm totally anticipating some good old time hockey, and that's what I'm here for. That's the best kind of hockey, Tommy.
I'm just laughing at the nasty chat now. Everybody's jumping on board with this Leafs Sens talk after what happened. Spency 5 cents, he says, nothing in the rule book that says you can't score an empty netter like that. Tube Sox, who is on location here at BP Westgate, says it was terrific. It was a terrific empty net goal. And what other ones do we have here? Joel says, my sister said it was just stupid getting a misconduct for the last 5 seconds of the game. And then Oily Sink drops in with a slap shot is ruthless, laughing my expletive butt off. I like it. People enjoy it. This one also says it's from the Wolf, who's at BP's. Are you here, the Wolf? Are you here? Come say hi. We want to hear. Yeah, Lieutenant Eric wants you to howl at the moon if you're here. The Wolf says, which one's worse, Big Z's head hit against Detroit or the Riley cross-check on Ottawa? Big Z is already suspended for 2 games. Wonder how many games Riley gets. Did you see the Zadorov hit to the head, Trev?
Yeah, I did see. Personally, I probably think the Zadorov's hit was a little bit more ruthless. He got him right on the chin, and Lucas Raymond, he went down hard. One thing he's got, he came back though, so that's one thing he's got going for him. But yeah, I definitely think that the Zadorov was a little bit just, I don't know. They were both kind of uncalled for, but that one I was like, oof, that one would hurt for sure.
Well, that one catches you on the chin while you're in motion looking the other way, and we know how that can be a night to a lot of guys. I know that the Riley cross-check to the face to Ridley Gregg isn't particularly great, but I'm sorry, like Morgan Riley cross-checking you in the face is not like a 6'8" giant from Russia coming across the ice and clipping you on the chin while you're looking the other way. So I do think the intent and the way that Riley laid the lumber on Ridley Gregg will probably cost him a couple of games, and how deliberate it was. And I think with Zadorov, I mean, he got the 2 games. The precedent is set. It was a dangerous play, but Riley went right at Gregg in that instance in the Toronto-Ottawa game. So a couple games for Riley as well. Both bad, both a little bit different for sure. All right, Trev, final thoughts from you as we wind things down on the pregame show here from Boston Pizza Westgate, just outside of West Edmonton Mall. It is filling up, man. This looks awesome. A big thank you to everyone who turned up. We have a lot of great giveaways, but Trev, what are you looking for from the Oilers tonight?
Yeah, hopefully just keep start the game a little bit stronger than what they did last night. They were kind of sleeping in the first period. The second period, I mean, that was their period. So bring it to them. Don't let the Kings establish their game. They're going to be coming out of the gate pretty hot, Tommy. They haven't played in 10 games. So expect a pretty a lot of energy from the Kings lineup, but as well, I'm expecting good things from the top 6 for the Oilers. I'd like to see a little bit more from the bottom 6, Holloway, McLeod, and Fogle. Didn't really get it done last game. If they got anything done, really, they were pretty not noticeable. So I'd like to see a little bit more contributions from the bottom 6. And as far as the defensive the D pairings, I don't know. Time will tell, but I'd be okay with them running it back to what we were so used to seeing at the start of the season. So, that's my thoughts. But be ready, because honestly, the Kings are going to bring it. They got a new coach. He's going to rally the troops tonight. So be ready.
Jim Hiller's first game as interim head coach of the Los Angeles Kings comes against the Oilers. The Kings, like Trev mentioned, have not played since January 31st, a 4-2 win at Nashville. The Oilers wrapping up this 3-game road trip, looking for a second win, a second consecutive win in back-to-back nights after yesterday's victory over the Anaheim Ducks. C-Dub in Tulsa gets the last word, says, I love it, boys. Thanks. If Perry fights Doughty and Connor Brown scores, I'll tear my shirt off and run down Yale Avenue. Book it. Come on down to Boston Pizza Westgate. We got this Connor McDavid jersey from the Heritage Classic up for grabs. YouTube Trev, big work. Good job. There's some big ups from Lieutenant Eric, Matthew Wanek here. We also have a ton of awesome Oiler prizes from the good folks at BP and Molson. So come on down, hang out with some nasties, some ES tiers, and it's going to be a fun night. Let's see if the Oilers can make it 2 straight victories. A big thank you to Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period for stopping by, our Kings Insider, as well as a huge thank you to everybody here at BP Westgate. Thank you guys for putting up with us. And we'll be back for the post-game show for Matt Kassian and YouTube Trev. I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the game. Ciao for now.